10 seconds. 10 seconds. Where is Canada? Oh, 56. Roll call. We do unless close discussion. Okay, roll call. We are starting with Asepa Algeria. Asepa Algeria at Tunisia. Test, 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 test. Asepa Algeria at Tunisia, delegated to Asepa Algeria. NEPS Australia. TTT UPO Vietnam, delegated to Australia. Austria. CAPSI Canada. No, sorry. No, 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 no. Yeah, we cannot. I'm sorry. CCPSA Czech Republic. EPSF Egypt. IFSA Iran delegated to EPSF Egypt. TUPS Estonia. ANEP France. BPHD Germany. GPSA Ghana. NEPSA Sierra Leone delegated to GPSA Ghana. HUPSA Hungary. LPSA Lebanon. QFIS Qatar delegated to LPSA Lebanon. MyPSA Malaysia. And USPS Singapore delegated to MyPSA Malaysia. FEFRMAX Mexico. KNPSV the Netherlands. CPSA Croatia delegated to KNPSV the Netherlands. NZEPSO New Zealand. APF Portugal. FASO Romania delegated to APF Portugal. KNAS Republic of Korea. APS Japan delegated to KNAS Republic of Korea. CISSO for the Slovenia. ASEP Switzerland. SPSA Slovakia delegated to ASEP Switzerland. PSAT Thailand. TPAYC Turkey. BPSA United Kingdom. MPSA Malta delegated to BPSA United Kingdom. APHA ASP United States. FECAF Costa Rica delegated to APHA ASP United States. Did I miss out any member organizations? I'm sorry, CAPSI Canada. The rule is if I call out your name and you're not at your table, you can't have your voting rights. I hope you guys understand. Thank you. Wait, okay, can we please have raise your voting cards, please? Scrutineers, please count. Voting cards. Thirty-two full members present and voting. Thank you.
That's clarification by FEFRMX.
Harim from FEFRMX Mexico. I don't know if it's possible ask for do the roll call again because Canada is very near to the table, so we feel not comfortable with that decision.
Yeah. We are going to review with motions committee. By motions. Point of information by IPSF Exco.
Sorry, Kishan IPSF Exco, sorry, I'm very sorry, but there's no provisions in the official documents to return voting rights once roll call has been done. It's clearly stated that if they're not at that designated table, once I announce their name, they cannot receive voting rights. So we have to move on with resuming the standing orders. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Kishan. Can we proceed to the next motion? Okay. Can I have a proposer to resume the standing orders? Proposed by ASEP Algeria, seconded by NAPS Australia. Those against? Motion carried unanimously. We can move on. Okay. We're going to start with the election. The first one will be the election from the president for the mandate 2022-2023. We have the motivation video. Can we have the motivation video, please?
I hope you're enjoying the very first. Greeting to the amazing IPSFers you are. I hope you're enjoying the very first in-person World Congress after the pandemic hit our world. For those who haven't met me before, my name is Ryan, a fresh grad from Algeria, and I currently work at the Ministry of Pharmaceutical Industry. I've been serving the past year as IPSF President-elect, however I've been involved in IPSF for far as I can remember, probably over 6 years now, 3 of them as an executive committee member, where I held different positions from IMRO Secretary, IMRO Chairperson, Policy Coordinator, External Relations Chairperson, and of course President-elect. This allowed me to gain an extensive background about all the internal and the external work of the Federation, and gave me the chance, of course, to contribute to its growth. Which makes me in the perfect position and more than ready and qualified for my new position. My plans for the mandate will be marked with bold initiative to revive IPSF spirit after the downsides of having 2 consecutive years marked with social distancing, entirely virtual manifestations, and the sense of isolation and demotivation it created in our members. My plan will focus on 4 main areas. The first is governance strengthening, operation optimization. I'm planning to do so through investing in handover between outgoing and incoming executive committee member, set clear calendar of different activities across the federation at the beginning of the mandate, follow up on the strategic plan, and of course set in the new one, as well as develop portfolio-oriented survival kit, and of course, be supportive, present, attentive to the team's needs, and build an internal support system. The second point will be members' empowerment and active involvement, and this will be reflected through reforming IPSF activities to put quality over quantity and create IPSF servers to ensure equal access to different IPSF opportunities and calls, as well as to shift the focus to enhancing internal member organizations development by establishing a member organization empowerment plan, of course after setting a baseline needs assessment. The third point is policy enhancement, where I plan to introduce the portfolio-based global priorities and, of course, continue with policy and advocacy capacity building webinars. The final point will be partnership management and external presence fostering, and this will be through leading our interprofessional programs, follow up on data collection needed to maintain our relation with different partners like WHO, UNAIDS, FIP, etc., and of course establish a database for different interactions with speakers and partners to preserve history, as well as to hold regular meetings with partners and build a solid connection with them, and of course having sustainable development goals as a priority for our engagement with WHO. This was an overview for my plan. I'm here to answer any questions, and thank you very much for your trust.
Okay, thank you for the motivation video. now the floor is open for discussion. Ryan, are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hope you can hear me and you can see me as well.
Thank you. The first of the list is IPSA Lebanon.
Mario Unsi, LPSA Lebanon. As a president-elect, we believe you are aware of the challenges encountered this mandate. Our question is, how do you plan to avoid such obstacles next mandate and fill the gaps that affected the workflow? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
Thank you so much. So basically, I believe the main issue that we faced this year was the motivation of the team, whether executive members, IPSF team, or even member organizations. And this is definitely due to the fact that we have been in COVID for 2 years with all the uncertainty and the issues that we were facing switching to online from offline. The way I am planning to address that is by having meetings or frequent meetings and follow up with my team, but also with the member organizations to encourage them to shift back to
Thank you for the answer.
in-person events, and that will.
Ryan, can you hear us?
Now I can, but previously not.
You can continue, please.
Okay, so continuing the first question, or there has been another question that I haven't heard.
No, with the first question, please.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, basically what I'm planning to do to address the motivation or the general atmosphere in IPSF is by encouraging member organizations to have more in-person events, encourage the executive committee members to travel to those member organizations and assist with whatever we can, and we will try to shift back to the real world, whether in our LIT, CDCs, and this way the whole IPSF spirit will be boosted, if I may say, and that would affect have a positive effect on people applying to the different positions, being committed to the work of IPSF, but also like spreading the IPSF spirit all over again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have Accept Switzerland.
Valentine Asepswin, thank you very much for your application. We have a question, and I will start like this. That the workload as a president will be increasing, obviously, compared to the workload you have now. Your last monthly update has been handed in too late due to overwork. How do you plan on not being overworked as a president and ensuring that you, as an example for the entire EXCO and the rest of the IPSF team, will keep up to the deadline set by you? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
So thank you very much for your amazing question once again. Basically, as I replied in the email thread, my monthly updates, yes, they have been slightly late during the last month, but that was not really due to being just overworked, but also to health issues where I had a meeting with the RC for the LIT, the organizing committee of the LIT, where I was extremely sick back then as well. Anyhow, the way I'm considering to manage having balance between my life and my work and IPSF is what I've been doing for the past few years that I've been involved in different positions is by setting up my priorities straight, keeping up with my colleagues and Execo, and I will be definitely there for them to support if they are having whether like personal issues or issues with their work or health. I will be there to support and assist them to stick to the deadline. And of course, we will commit to that and to our member organizations. Hope I answered your question.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have we have a diary by APHASB.
Maria, APHAASP. Thank you for your application. So I just wanted to build on this topic that we're talking about, setting up priorities, making sure that you're supported and that your team is supported. And I think, support is incredibly important, but how will you keep each other accountable? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
Thank you so much. This is also an amazing question. Well, individuals who are applying for the executive committee member have actually high spirit or high understanding of their positions and the commitment that comes with it. And as an executive committee, we make sure that we do not go easy on people who are not being serious taking these jobs or not doing their jobs as they're supposed to be. However, we still support the conditions where it's out of their hands or when it is not really like mistakes that are not due to neglection or lack of responsibility, but rather due to uncontrollable circumstances that are going through. And this is important in any team, in my opinion, to provide the needed support for your team and to assist them whenever needed. However, it is important definitely to keep your team accountable for their jobs and accountable for the deadlines you agreed to set all together. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have Asep Algeria.
Test. So I'm Carlos from Algeria. First of all, thank you, Ryan, for your application and your nomination form. As you know, the president position is quite the important position in IPSF. I would like to know if you could detail to us the situation that IPSF is going on right now in terms of internally and externally. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
Thank you so much. Definitely. My plan of action that I have submitted and that I have in mind as well address definitely both the challenges that we are facing internally and the challenges that we are facing externally. Internally, when it comes basically, as I mentioned, to the motivation of the team, that will be a priority. And then we will be having also capacity building, but also the support to our member organizations to go back into real life activities and to assist them to grow because we cannot grow at IPSF if our member organizations are not growing. And this will be done through helping them to implement policy and also build their own strategic plan and long-term goals in order for them to grow and to catch up with their goals and their vision. When it comes to the external portfolio, it is also a priority for me, and we'll be following up with our different partners that we already have and try to find common areas for different projects. But also, I have a plan to map the possible collaboration that we can have with partners that are not really partners yet. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. So the possibility of partnership.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have APEF Portugal. Dropped?
Denise, APF Portugal. First, we would like to thank you for your application, and we would like to ask, regarding the IPSF activities, you mentioned that you will prioritize quality over quantity. So we would like for you to give us an example of an activity that you would like to cut off and an activity that you think it should still be organized. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
Thank you very much. That's actually a very interesting question. So basically what I'm planning to do, not exactly to cut any sort of activities or to limit that, because that will be up to the member organizations and the chairpersons of different portfolios. However, what I'm planning to do is to have a certain document where it would link policy to the action or to advocacy, where we will be setting in collaboration with the member organizations and CPs one priority for each portfolio during the year, and we will try to organize this all over IPSF. But again, the choice of the topics themselves will be up to the CPs, the member organizations' needs, and what they believe is needed by our members and by our pharmacy students. This is a big project of mine, which is IPSF priorities in different portfolios, and I will be really counting on it because it will motivate the member organizations to work together in one vision and on one project and raise the quality of that particular area or that particular project that we will be addressing. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have APEF Portugal.
Joana, APF Portugal, thank you for your application. We wanted to ask, in your application you mentioned that you want to empower member organizations to be able to set and follow up on their strategic plans. So we want to know how do you plan on doing this? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
Thank you so much. So basically what I'm planning to do is first to know where do we stand, or where does every member organization stand. And to do so, we will be sharing in collaboration with the internal chairperson, a baseline assessment to know which of our member organizations already have policy, for example, which does not, which have already a long-term plan or a strategic plan with specific KPIs, which means they are aware of where do they want to be in 3 years or 4 years. And then we will be dividing these member organizations into different groups and plan accordingly to their needs. For example, a member organization who never had a strategic plan, we will start slow on how to implement the strategic plan, how to follow up on it, etc., etc. And a member organization who already has been doing this practice for long and now, and they know how to evaluate it, we can assist them or help them in order to manage the meetings where they assess the progress, how to write the progress report, how to include your
Time's
members
up.
in the evaluation,
Yeah.
etc. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have ASEP Algeria.
Before answering, could you tell us the name of the...
Mariama.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, Lina Mariama Asepa Algeria. Thank you for your application. So Asepa's question is, what are your plans to maintain the executive committee motivated? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
Thank you so much again for your question. So basically, the motivation of the executive committee is one of the most important things, or the most important aspects that the president needs to pay attention to. And in order for me to maintain this high spirit, I definitely believe in face-to-face meetings, which is EM1 and EM2, and eventually EM3, because that usually boosts the energy and help the executive committee to bond. I'm also planning to have certain activities of team buildings that I've learned as a trainer during these whole years, in order for me to assist my team to have team building together and be one core during the mandate. This is something that I'm planning to do as well. I'm planning to do one-to-one meetings with them in order to understand their background and their lifestyle, and how can I assist during the hard periods they are having. And I plan to be very much involved in their projects and provide assistance whenever needed. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have Annette France.
Pauline, Annette France. Thank you for your application. In the sorry, in the suggestions of his annual report, the president says there is probably a lot more to be done in terms of harmonization and unifying different procedures. Thank you. Different procedures, especially between region and even in portfolio structures, name, and the whole communication system. So Anep would like to know if you already thought about it, about how to improve what he mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
Thank you so much, Anna France, for this question. So basically, definitely, this will be also one of my priorities, as Osama mentioned, and as you already know, we have some lack of harmonization between the regions, mainly after we added the subcommittees to the IPSF team 2 years ago. I believe 2 years ago, or three, yeah, when it was the motion to add the teams to IPSF team, and there has always been this like different names of positions, different constitutions of the subcommittees, and it has been very confusing to many people, and it doesn't really reflect a harmonized vision. I definitely plan to work on that while harmonizing the procedures, the names maybe of the positions if possible, but while keeping the uniqueness of each regional office, because it is important also to have diversity. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have Asep Algeria.
Test, test. So I've got Algeria. First of all, thank you, Ryan, for your previous answer. My question is more about the new IPSF strategic plan. What are your thoughts about the future drafted plan, and what are the main points you want to add into it? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Ryan, please.
Very much. So basically, it is important to note that I have been in the team that drafted the original, well, not the original, this actual strategic plan, and the way that we have done it was quite interesting, and I'm planning to keep on doing it, which is involving the member organizations in the development of each goal and each KPI that we wish to reach. I plan to keep the same procedure, but also include the previous executive committee members who served in IPSF, and to get their opinion, their intake, and also inputs about the vision and what should be done, because they've served and they know, they have like a decent knowledge, if I may say, of what can go wrong or what can be improved. So yeah, I plan to include both the member organizations and the previous executive committee members.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have on the list APEF Portugal.
Denise, APF Portugal. We would like to ask regarding the monitoring and evaluation of the strategic plan. You mentioned you would like to regulate and monitorize it. And in the case the goals are not met throughout the mandate, which are going to be the measures implemented in order to rectify that? Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you
Ryan,
so much.
please.
So basically, the point of having a strategic plan is to monitor our progress. And to do that, we need to hold regular meetings with, of course, the executive committee members, and say, for this and this and this objective, here where do we stand? Here are the challenges that we are having, and here are the measures that we are planning to take in order to meet these KPIs by the end of the mandate. It is important that we don't leave this task to the end of the mandate or till EM3, for example, and say, hey, we couldn't reach this KPI, but rather have a regular monitorship and evaluation during EM1, EM2, and any other meetings if we see necessary, and say, hey, these KPIs we're still far from attending it. What can be done, and we can brainstorm together as an executive committee, and this way is the only way, in my opinion, to ensure that we meet our KPIs and meet our goals. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. We have procedural motion raised by ASEP Switzerland.
Valentine Asap Switzerland, we would like to propose the procedural motion to close the floor for discussion.
We have a seconder, seconded by KNPSB. Those who are against this motion, we have two. Thank you. Those who are for this motion, motion passes. Thank you, Ryan, for your application. Next, we are going to move to the next open discussion, that it's the election of the president-elect. We have one nominee. We are just going to clean the parliamentary system. Okay, we are going to start the election of the president-elect. We have one nomination by Mr. Isaac Ni of Oliana. Can we have the video?
Hello IPSF, my name is Isaac and I'm current Secretary General. I'm preparing this video while doing everything to join you guys very soon in Hurghada. I am currently running for IPSF President-elect for the mandate 2022-2023, and with this video I want to share with you my motivation for the portfolio. So the first thing is I will be running all the President-elect tags as outlined by the IPSF official documents, so support for the President and acting in his or her stead when they are away, supporting the IPSF team, executive committee, coordinators, everyone in the team down to the regional levels, following up with quarterly reports on the mandate, on handovers, etc. On trainings, I'll be specifically working on TDCs and local LITs to make it more friendly for specific language individuals, at the same time making it more global in a sense. I will be encouraging the organization of a TDC bootcamp for TDC graduates and old trainers as well. I will be also assisting with the strategic plan development for 2023 to 2026. Also, I'll be leading all engagements on that, following up with past alumni, stakeholders of the Federation that have input. We will be taking out points from this current strategic plan 2020 to 2023 to find those ones that were not achieved and then repurpose them for the next one. I will also be looking at other portfolios such as MMP, supporting them with branding. With external, I'll be taking on as co-focal point for organizations such as the Global Health Workforce Network Youth Hub, and then also IFISO. I will also be helping with local level sponsorship and partnership sourcing. I will be helping with mainly being at the table for sponsorships and grants during discussions at external partners, roundtable discussions such as the World Health Assembly, etc., where we can find partners and be more strategic in our approach. I'll be helping the PD team, PE team, PH team with inter-portfolio projects, and then also we will be organizing more inter-regional competitions or projects as well. These and many things are the things that I've outlined in my nomination form, and you can get more details on them, on the things that I plan to do when you guys give me the mandate. Thank you so much for everything you've done with giving me the opportunity to serve you this mandate as Secretary General, and I promise that if you give me this mandate as President-elect, I will not fail you as well, just as well as I have done as Secretary General. Thank you so much, and I am open to have your questions.
Thank you for the motivation video. Now the floor is open for discussion. Seeing first, can I have confirmation Isaac is listening to us?
I'm here.
Thank you. IPSA Lebanon.
Maria, Maria on CLPSA Lebanon. Thank you so much for your presentation. So as you know, the training portfolio faced some challenges this year. So LPSA would like to ask, how are you willing to overcome them next year? And if you encourage the idea of having a separate portfolio for training. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Isaac, please.
Thank you very much for the question, LPSA. So first of all, I think the training portfolio issues just stemmed from motivation. This mandate, we had a lot of trouble at the beginning of the mandate trying to get people to fill in the portfolio for various. It wasn't up until the second call that we had someone running for training coordinator, etc. And there were a lot of issues when it came about, like team dynamics, etc. So what I am planning to do is, first of all, to increase motivation, identify people that I feel will be very good in the position with recommendation from the past president-elect and also the past chairperson or current chairperson of professional development. We develop a plan, reach out to people that are well motivated to run for the positions. And case in point, we have some trainers that are not active. We need to activate those trainers and then find a more, practical way of motivating them to be more involved in the committee, basically. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have Asep Algeria.
Test. So I've got Aspa Algeria. First of all, thank you, Isaac, for your nomination form and your motivation. My question is related to policy. Can you tell us what are your plans for policy in IPSF in possibly your mandate? And if there is any chance you will include member organizations in these plans. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Isaac, please.
Thank you very much, Asepa. So for policy, I'll be supporting mainly the president if I'm elected as president-elect in this portfolio, and I will be supporting the committee as well, together with the policy coordinator. So that's already like a set rule. But mainly the new things that I would like to bring on board is more local policy addresses. I've seen that a lot of member organizations will rather have a more general or global policy sessions, but I think that the training should be done from the local levels and then brought up. So that's one thing that I think I'll be advising the president and the policy committee on that. Also, we're going to be taking like more keen interest in the research or sorry, the policy topic suggestions from member organizations. Once we are able to get some of the best relevant, there are some topics that are not so relevant in our current climate. So these are new things that I think we should bring on board, relevant topics, and then also keeping the policy discussions or trainings on a more local level. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have IPSF Egypt.
The IPSF Egypt, regarding the last report for the president-elect, she mentioned regarding the building capacity, it imposed many limitations when it was directed by the president-elect. So how you are going to manage this limitation? As you mentioned in the nomination, the section of the building capacity.
Thank you for the question. Isaac, please.
Danny, can I ask for clarification?
Could you please repeat?
She's asking for like the limitations on capacity building in IPSF.
Please.
The limitation in the building, in the capacity, regarding it's directed by the president-elect.
It's okay.
Okay.
Please, Isaac.
Hi, Danny.
Could you please repeat the question?
Okay. What are the problems imposed when the limitation regarding the building capacity directed by the president-elect, as it was mentioned previously by Ryan report as a president-elect?
Thank you.
Okay, so limitations that come as a result of capacity building in IPSF. That's the question.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So essentially, like I said, motivation of trainers, because we do not have the trainers a lot of the time to deliver the trainings. Even when we want to call a TDC, sometimes we would have to get trainers from another region altogether. We don't have trainers that are close by. Proximity issues come in, visa issues come in, and a whole lot of limitations that come in. To resolve this, like I said, we have to find a way to activate the training pool and then find incentives for trainers that are inactive to make them more active. And then also we need to get more MO level trainers. So maybe we need to take a look at training trainers for LIT sort of programs that is not necessarily like TDC graduates that are going to be providing trainings, but then local level people that will be providing trainings on the ground level, so that capacity building is sorted at the local level as well. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have on the list APEF Portugal.
Denise, APEF Portugal. Firstly, we would like to thank you for your application. Our question is regarding the trainers bootcamp. We would like to understand if you thought about the dynamics for this event. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Isaac, please.
Thank you so much for the question. So this is a new sort of thing that I was brainstorming with Ryan about. So essentially, it's just we're trying to, as part of the motivation for trainers, and then also as a refresher course, because a lot of them have been to TDC, they've been graduates of TDC many years ago. So this is a way to get them together to have a live event, which would boost people's morals and make people more motivated. And then also it will help them refresh on some of the training strategies, things that are more current ways of training based on research, etc. And then also to have a lot of fun and then meet friends that they haven't seen in a long while. So we will be discussing this at EM1 and see how feasible it is. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have ANEP France.
Marion, ANEP France, thank you for your application. What do you think will be your biggest challenge for the mandate?
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Isaac, please.
My biggest challenge will be motivation of people, I think. The pandemic, that's one thing, one asset that the pandemic left us. People are not very motivated. I personally have been trying to reach out to people that I thought are very capable of running for positions, and most of them are like, no, we're not interested. And we're losing a lot of manpower in IPSF, which is a huge thing. So my biggest challenge will be that to overcome that, I think the first thing is really good handovers, making sure that the current team is handing over a solid mandate to the new incoming team. I will be part of every handover, especially in exco level and the team level. I will be following up on that. And then the second thing will be, the second thing will generally be how to get sponsorship money for IPSF, especially regional offices. So to fix that, it's going to be through the regional grants that we're planning, and then.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have a direct by ASEP Switzerland.
You're not the only audio person. Okay, sorry. Valentine Asap Switzerland. Thank you very much for your application. On the aspect that you mentioned about that we're losing capable people to join positions in IPSF, you mentioned that you had kind of an idea on how to increase the amount of people that would apply through the mentorship sessions for interested CPs to attach them to the EXCO for limited periods of time. Could you elaborate on how this would be implemented? Like, for instance, would there be a selection, or could anyone apply once? Or yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the question. Isaac, please.
Thank you very much. First of all, it's in two forms. So the first one will be CPs being attached to EXCO, and this is of course a pilot sort of thing. So maybe just for like 2 months or 3 months to see how it goes, and then maybe we'll scale it up in upcoming mandates based on the feedback that we get. But essentially, how we're going to do it, we're going to release a call, and it's going to be it's only going to be for CPs. So it's going to be based on the application and the interest and experience that you already present with, that the selection will be based on. The second thing that I'll mention is also trying to change the format of LITs a little bit into more practical mentorship projects like we've been doing during the COVID times. So maybe we will focus on having like the normal LITs as we do. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the sessions, we give projects for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks based on attachment to a certain portfolio. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. Next, we have a direct by APEF Portugal.
Joanna, APF Portugal. We wanted to ask why only CPs and not SEOs as well? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Isaac, please.
Thank you. For SEOs, I think SEOs have a lot of. It's always thought that SEOs have a lot on their plate with regards to hosting students and things like that. But I have only conceived the idea with CPs, because CPs have all these like projects that they run, like the M8 deal, etc., that they already do. But we will see how best to incorporate SEOs into this as well, to see how best they can develop capacity in that area. Because personally, I started my IPSF journey as an SEO, and I took a different turn altogether. So I think, yeah, it's doable. We will have to explore that as well. Thank you.
Thank you for the answer. We have a procedural motion raised by KNPSB.
Franca KNPSB Netherlands would like to propose a motion to close the floor for discussion, please.
We have a seconder, seconded by APHASB. Those who are against this motion? Four? Please rise again, those who are against this motion. Thank you. Those who are for this motion? We need 20. Motion carried. Now the floor is closed for discussion under the president election. Thank you, Isaac, for your application. We are going to move to the next election. Now we are going to the election of the Secretary General. We received one application by Mrs. Su In Lee. Do we have the motivation video, please?
Efficient and innovative administration form
Can we
the
start
basis
again with
of
the video?
organizational success. Good day to all attendees of the General Assembly. My name is Suan Lee from New Zealand.
Can we restart the video, please?
Efficient and innovative administration form the basis of organizational success. Good day to all attendees of the General Assembly. My name is Suan Lee from New Zealand, and I am the current IPSF APPER Secretary. It is a great pleasure to nominate myself for the position of IPSF Secretary General 2022 to 2024 in front of the Assembly today. From President of APSA to Regional Secretary Subcommittee and Regional Secretary, Secretariat and administrative work have always been a prominent part of my leadership experiences. I've experienced firsthand that excellent administration is key to organizational success, and thus it is my goal to support the pursuit of IPSF visions through strong, strategic, and innovative administration. The past 2 years of experience in the Regional Secretary portfolio and the Constitutional Working Committee have equipped me with strong communication, document storage, record keeping, and assembly organization skills. The utilization of these skill sets will aid me to successfully complete mandated Secretary General duties, as well as to pursue Objective 1.3 of the IPSF Strategic Plan 2020 to 2022.